Hey everyone, welcome to the Watchdog Kitchen. Today, Christy and I are going to be showing you how we make low-calorie, high-volume French toast. It's one of our favorite recipes. We came across it from a YouTuber known as Coach Greg, but over time we've kind of adapted the recipe for the way that we like to eat it. Also, it's a great recipe to introduce yourself into weighing your food because you need to weigh the different ingredients and stuff so you can make it correctly.
Most of the calories are going to come from the bread that you choose. If you're in maintenance like we are, then you can afford maybe to use this Dave's Killer bread, white bread done right. This is thick and hearty bread. It's a big slice, so that's why I like it. But for one slice of bread, you get 110 calories. However, if maybe you're on a cut or you just want to be able to eat more French toast, this is Nature's Own Life Honey Wheat bread, 40 calories per slice. For this bread, you can have 2 slices for only 80 calories. That's a huge difference. You have 2 slices for less calories than you can of that 1 slice of the other bread. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have 1 slice of this one, because again, I like this, and 2 slices of this one.
When you're out shopping, looking at breads, take a look at the nutrition labels. Which bread do you like the most? Can it fit within your budget? And go with that one. There's no magic number or ratio. It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Let's get started. All right, so the first thing I have is my scale, and I'm gonna put my bowl on the scale and turn it on. This zeroes it out. So far, weighing food, super easy. We're looking for about 50 to 70 grams per slice. If you're just going with egg white, use about 70 grams, 65, 70 grams per slice. If you're gonna use a whole egg to supplement, go ahead and shoot on the lower end, 50 grams of egg white per slice, and then add in the egg. Now Christy's in a maintenance, so we're also going to add an egg to this mix so she gets a little bit more fat into her diet. So with that, I'm going to do 50 grams of egg whites per slice, so 150 grams. If you're on a cut, just eliminate the whole egg and that'll save you about 70-80 calories. A whole egg is typically about 50 grams. You can just swap one for one. 150 grams. Notice how it's not perfect. That's okay. You don't have to be perfect. At least we're doing something to measure. And we'll add in our whole egg. Step 1 is done. We've got our eggs in there. Now we're just going to add cinnamon, and with the cinnamon and stevia, I just add to taste. So I kind of eyeball it a little bit for what I think is going to be a good amount for 3. A little bit of vanilla extract. Now the cinnamon and vanilla extract, 0 calorie. So we're just adding flavor to this bad boy.
Flavor.
We're gonna save some calories and use stevia. Okay, so this is just artificial sweetener. There's nothing wrong with artificial sweetener. And just, again, add to what you prefer. I like things to be a little sweet. So I typically try to add almost as much sweetener as I do the cinnamon. And that's it. We've measured our food. We have the base ready to go for our French toast. So we're going to move this over. Now I like to mix it to where we have a nice little froth. And now we're going to prep our pan. So let's move over to the pan. With French toast, you want to cook it on a low heat pan. Okay, so you don't want it too hot. You want it low. We're just going to let this warm up. Because we're trying to save calories, we're not going to douse this pan with butter. We're just going to use some butter flavored low calorie spray. We're just going to spray it down, throw the bread on there, and we'll be ready to go. Now fluffier bread is going to soak better. So white breads typically work a little bit better. Wheat breads are a little denser, so you really got to give them some time in there to get the egg and stuff soaked in. Kind of pushing it down a little bit. Don't worry about it getting flat because it's going to plump back up as we bake the bread. Good to go. Shouldn't really hear a sizzle. If you hear a sizzle, then you know you probably have your pan too hot. There it is. Sizzle shouldn't really be any louder than that. If you notice, you see how with the measurements that we used, we've almost used up all of the egg with 3 slices. So we're not wasting food.
Yeah, you're really spot on with that. You've gotten really good at that.
And now we just kind of finish it off here.
Yeah, pour the rest over.
Pour the rest on top. Don't lose any of that anabolic goodness.
All the protein.
And we're just going to cover it and let her bake. These are looking good. Now you notice, if you can see in here, there's these little bubbles that are coming through. That means that it's cooking all the way through, which is great. You can really smell the cinnamon.
Yeah, it smells good.
French toast is about patience. Just be patient. That's why you're cooking it on a low heat. You want to cook all of the egg without burning the bread, so slow and steady. Cover that right back up. Yeah, there we go.
Just flip the whole thing all
Yeah.
like one big French toast.
One big French toast. Good. French toast shamrock.
Man, that looks good.
Yeah.
And you have like the egg coating nice and fluffy over it.
I'm going to cover that back up, turn down the heat, make sure we're on low heat. And so the biggest thing covering it is allowing all of the egg to cook all the way through the bread without having to use too much heat, without burning the bread. And it's also baking, so it's fluffing the bread back up. So when we put it in, the bread was very dense because it was super wet. As it's baking, the eggs are expanding, fluffing the bread back up. Coming out great. All right, you can either eyeball when things are done or you can use tools. So we're looking for 145-degree internal temperature to know that the eggs have cooked all the way through. And we're at about 210. So according to the probe, we're over the internal temperature for the eggs to be cooked at. What I also like to do is just test by feeling the bread. So if it still feels really squishy, and not fluffy, but squishy, then we know we haven't cooked it long enough. We want to maybe leave it a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and do another big flip. Got the other side. Oh yeah, this is ready. Got our French toast. Christy wants them like this because she is going to create some toppings to put on her French toast.
Today I'm going to be using PB Fit and cottage cheese. Now I'm using the PB Fit peanut butter powder because it has way less calories than regular peanut butter. For 2 tablespoons, you get, it's 70 calories, where like peanut butter, 2 tablespoons is like 180 calories. I'm using cottage cheese because it makes the texture a little bit thicker and smoother. If you don't like cottage cheese, you can use yogurt or milk. This has 90 calories for half a cup, and I'm actually going to use only 1/4 of a cup of this. You also need some syrup on top to sweeten it up, so this is Miss Buttersworth sugar-free, which tastes just as good as regular syrup. Trust us on it, this is our favorite. And for about 2 tablespoons, only 10 calories, so hardly anything at all. I'm going to do 56 grams of this. I rather go by the weight than going by the spoon. It's just more accurate. So I'm going to zero it out and just go for 16 grams. One thing I forgot to mention, if you don't like the texture of cottage cheese because it's like lumpy and stuff, just blend it. Put it in a mini like food processor or just in a like little Ninja Bullet, whatever, and it'll blend it up, be smooth. You won't even notice anymore. I don't want to blend it because I don't want to make more dishes and it, you know, the texture won't bother me. I'm going to mix it up until it's smooth. If it's not mixing well, I think what I'll do is add some water or even almond milk. I'm not going to use even that much. Right now I'm at 15 grams. If you want this to be smoother, put it in a blender or just use yogurt. Yogurt will work really well too. Add just the tiniest bit of liquid at a time or you'll end up with peanut butter soup and that's not fun. This might not look appetizing to you, but it's gonna taste good. Last but not least, our Miss Buttersworth on there. Switch this over to milliliters. And that way you can see how much 30 milliliters is. It's a lot. And that's only 10 calories for that. Plenty. If it's not sweet enough for you, you can always add some of the sweetener. The French toast, the bread, super fluffy, cinnamon, vanilla flavor. And then you get the peanut butter flavor and the sweetness of the syrup. This is a pretty hearty breakfast right here. Lots of protein to get you going. If you guys try it out, let us know in the comments what you use, how you make it your own, your toppings. Continue to follow us. Sally and I are going to try to share more of this stuff. Hit that like button and subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye.